As Singapore's architects grow and mature, they seek to spread their expertise beyond local shores, transplanting their values, their buildings, to foreign places. Working in unfamiliar situations with foreign cultures requires greater sensitivity in designing to suit local conditions. In this episode, we look at the designs of 3 local architects who have left their mark overseas. Against a landscape of lush rice fields and ancient temples lies a magical retreat. The alluring backdrop provided the inspiration for architect Chan Soo Kian to transform the site into an exclusive luxury resort.
It really started as a search for a nice plot of land to do a family getaway home. And after looking around, we found this great site. It felt like a wonderful site, strong nature, very spiritual, and that grew.
Situated against a backdrop of lush landscapes and stunning views of the ocean, the 44 modern villas do not immediately look like traditional Balinese houses. But a closer look will reveal architect Chan Soo Kian's interpretation of Balinese influences.
The inspiration for the project was actually quite straightforward. We wanted to construct a resort based on traditional Balinese spatial paradigms, but not to replicate another Bali hut resort. So we understood the concept of the walled courtyards, the separate pavilions, and the movement through those spaces.
Inspired by Balinese palaces and temples, the design of the resort was based around the progression of the guests through a series of courtyards. Soo Kian created walled courtyards for privacy, and as guests walk through these smaller spaces, they slowly telescope into larger pavilions and terraces to reveal stunning views of greenery and the ocean. To take the Balinese experience even further, Soo Kian felt he had to go beyond the building and bring in elements from nature. As a result, the courtyards and gardens that connect the exterior to indoor spaces are planted with local flora.
Generally, what you find that thrives well on the site will work. So we use a lot of local plants that we find on the ocean front, and we use them in all our landscapes. We picked up on the color of the black sand. And we also picked up on the stone that is in the basement.
Soo Kian felt it was important that the buildings harmonized with the landscape. The volcanic black sand inspired the resort's grey palette, while local limestones became the dominant stone used in construction. The use of local materials was a conscious effort by architect Chan Soo Kian to contribute to the cultural and economic sustainability of the area.
We wanted to use local materials, local laborers, materials that we can get within, say, 4 or 5 kilometers from the site, the predominant materials. We also found that the village had a very long tradition of terracotta. So there are a lot of actually terracotta craftsmen around, and we wanted to reflect that as well.
But the villas were not only culturally sustainable, they showed great sensitivity to the surrounding environment as well.
One of my greatest concerns was to be able to design a resort hotel that would fit into the site and with the way of life without damaging the environment. So I wanted to make this to be a very ecologically sensitive project, not just architecturally, but also socially and culturally.
One major sensitivity was to preserve the ecology of the working rice fields that surrounded the villa. The layout of the buildings was designed to ensure that the waterways to these fields were not cut off. However, the process was fraught with challenges, as Sukien also had to work around religious sensitivities. Important temples where devoted locals made daily offerings already existed on the site.
The Balinese culture centers around offerings, and there were a couple of quite important temples within our site. So we had to actually chart the circulation paths of processions and the rice irrigation waterways, and the siting of the villas in a way is derived from that.
The 44 villas were not only sited to accommodate the religious processions. They were also designed with sustainability in mind. This was part of architect Chan Soo-kien's commitment to earth-check social and responsibility benchmarks.
Most of the spaces in the hotel, except for the rooms, all the public spaces are naturally ventilated. So you have to kind of design the principle of shelter, shading, keeping the rain out while maintaining cross ventilation, thereby cutting down the use of electric power. So that brings on a green angle to the project.
Rooms were designed to facilitate cross ventilation. Ocean villas, in particular, were laid out to naturally draw in air through open doors and windows. Villas are meticulously positioned to allow maximum exposure to natural light, cutting down the use of electricity. What resulted from Soo-kien's rigorous planning and design was a flawless meeting of worlds. The Lila Villa Suri is a sanctuary that successfully integrates ecological and environmental sensitivities with luxury.